You're watching the Eternal Tournament Series.
And we are back. I am Sir Rhino here with Calimdir, getting ready to bring you some round 2 action of this week 5, season 5 ETS Open. We've got a pair of 1-0 players here coming up in this match. And it's an oldie but goodie against kind of an old deck with some new tech that's bringing some more spice today. We've got Krizalio on Combre mid-range and Kirby on something he's calling "I'm afraid I've got some bad news." So let's break these down, Calimdir.
Yeah, so this is just a classic battle of two ladder, meta game titans, Combre mid-range, big Combre, the deck you know and love, and Gunsmith combo. Classic ladder deck. So he's running, if you're not familiar with the cards, Cabal Spymaster, which is a 4/4 for 4 that lets infiltrate units infiltrate as many number of times instead of it getting just grayed out after you use it. In combination with Westwind Herald, which when it infiltrates, plays a spell from your void. So with those two cards out, and Bad News, which is a card that lets your units ready and then attack again, you can just attack infinitely for 2 with Westwind Herald. It also has Calderan Gunsmith, which allows you to deal 1 damage with the Herald without even attacking. And then if you have something like Mirror Image in the void, you can target the gunsmiths with the mirror image and then make an infinite number of gunsmiths. So this is a combo deck essentially.
Yeah, and there's a couple other combos going on here as well. You mentioned the Gunsmith, which in our image says called Darren Channeler. It got renamed, and we haven't updated it yet, but it's the same card. Don't worry, it costs the same amount. Just got a little change in naming. But Calderan Gunsmith also works with Scouting Party, which is in this list. So you can play Scouting Party, then play Gunsmith, and even if you haven't hit your opponent with the Yetis yet, you still get to draw your 4 cards because they infiltrate and draw you cards. And this is all jammed into essentially a Feln control list. The fire splashes for the Channeler and Bad News, but you've got your Withering Witch, Lightning Storm, Steward of the Past. So instead of trying to win with, Veras and Champion of Cunnings, you're winning in a much more awesome fashion, which is infinite combos, which everybody knows are the best ways to win. So Kirby will be going up against, as you mentioned, Combre mid-range. We've seen many different flavors of this one. This one's still jamming 4 harsh rules alongside their stand together. And then just the Vodacon transform in the sideboard with Voice of the Speaker, protects, stuff like that. So it's the battle of the beatdown versus the combo control, and we'll have to see what happens. This should be interesting. It's really going to come down to, this Cabal Spymaster, I think is just going to be a 4/4 vanilla most of the time. I think that's going to be the biggest issue Kirby has with finding a way to combo, just because it's going to be in the face of 8 silences and some vanquishes and harsh rule and all that. So that'll be a little tricky, but it should still be a fun little bit of tension to watch.
Yeah, so the players are in the game now. Kirby's got a nice hand here. He's got a Wisdom of the Elders and a good blocker, which is basically what he wants. He just wants to get to the late game, get his cards, get his combo set up, and hold the ground with Steward of the Past. Getting the mirror image is also really nice here, because that's like he's got 2/2 of his combo already there, or 2/3 of his combo already. I guess it's a 4-card combo.
It's a 4-card combo, so it's a bit tough to get 2/3 of it. But
yeah,
it's halfway there. Maybe the halves that matter, the half that matters the least, and that Gunsmith really doesn't do anything in this deck until you find anything else with Infiltrate. But
you need to find Party or Herald. So how do you feel about this matchup overall?
Oh, geez. I think I got to give it to the edge to Combre here, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. I know I'm not supposed to pick favorites, but man, I love fun stuff like this. We'll have to see, but Combre does need to put on the pressure before, like Kirby just says, oops, I win, but that looks to be what Krizalio is doing here.
Yeah, so I generally think Combre is just, it's the better deck, so it's slightly favored. But Kirby has a few things going for him.
Mhm.
There are no main deck protects in Krizalio's list, which is
Yeah.
going to hurt him a lot against Kirby's like 1-for-1 removal. And it's also just not a super fast list of combos running the 4 harsh rolls, the 3 stand-togethers. He does have Reality Warden, which is troublesome.
Yeah, and
But
as we
it's
see,
definitely
he
not
had
the
these
fastest.
flyers. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have an Awakened Student or something. So it gives Kirby a little more time than maybe some other Combre decks to get stuff set up.
Yeah, I think if this Combre list was like the big Combres we've seen before that maybe not always play the main deck stand together, I'd like Kirby chance a bit more because you could actually reliably set up like a Witch Storm and then whatever. But now he's like awkwardly playing a 2/2 flyer here while still having a Lightning Storm in play, but also has Mirror Image Gunsmith. But again, Krizalio has like infinite like ways to pop the Aegis on this 2/2 flyer and block it between all these 4/4 and 3/3 flyers, and we're seeing that here. We can't actually see Krizalio's hand, but like now ExKirby has to be like, all right, I can. He's on 8 power. He can Mirror Image Gunsmith here and cast more mirror images and try and beat Krizalio with some number of 2/2 flyers plus drawing more cards here, and that could end up working out.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a lot of card advantage here. Krizalio drawing 7 of his 8 flying units, which is pretty rough for Kirby, but you know.
All right,
So
and there's
something interesting about Kirby's list as he's going off a little bit with these gunsmiths. There are only 2 cards that are not sigils in his list that he has 4 copies of. Everything else is 1, 2, or 3 copies, including Wisdom of the Elders. The only cards he has 4 copies of are Lightning Storm and Seek Power.
Yeah, Kirby, I guess, was expecting some aggro here, brought the 4 Lightning Storm, and plus with which it can still be relevant in these mid-range matchups, but wouldn't be surprised to see some of those get trimmed out after here. Interestingly enough, he chose to mirror image a Gunsmith to get a little more damage in rather than mirror imaging and getting a fresh Westwind Herald. And we'll see how that choice ends up panning out here. Krizalio gonna step on the gas here, try and get in with all of these flyers.
Yeah, that's 10 damage, putting Kirby down to 7. So he's dead if he doesn't block next turn. And harsh roll. Okay, that's a really interesting choice.
Kirby gets to keep a flyer. I guess at 13, Krizalio is just a little worried. Like if another mirror image came down, Kirby could have done quite a bit of damage there, something like that. But
yeah, or if Spymaster had come down.
So yeah, that's true, especially once you swing with everything. And Krizalio is probably sitting on one of those classic Combre hands where you have more threats, but also like 2 extra harsh roll. And you're like, well, might as well throw out a harsh roll here. And now Kirby's going to throw out the scouting party and hope that's not what Krizalio's done. And if Krizalio has no harsh rolls here, he'll be drawing some extra cards.
So just from all the gunsmithing and trying to stay alive, Kirby somehow got Krizalio down to 11. So this game's actually a lot closer than it could easily have been.
Yeah, and this is the awkward spot where you have the Witch Lightning Storm, and it also kills all of your units, so not great. I think Kirby will just A-space here, maybe leave back the 2/2 flyer, but it's not like this 3/3 flyer is threatening to kill you on its own. Your opponent's not playing anything like Finest Hour, so it's not like they could stand together plus Finest to crack back for lethal. So yeah, it's going to hold back the 2/2 flyer, doesn't want that to die here, and Desert Marshal's here to ruin all the fun.
Yeah, so he's only going to draw 1 card off of this.
0 cards, actually.
Oh, 0. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
The other one is silenced, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a rough spot for Kirby, sitting on 11 power, just wants to find more card draw, and has. The problem is all his card draw is getting blocked and silenced.
Yeah, it's pretty rough here. Turns out Kirby also running harsh roll in his creature deck, so...
Yeah. Yeah, this is always the awkward thing of running like Lightning Storm alongside Westwind Herald. We're seeing the tension here. And while Krizalio doesn't seem to have the biggest threats that you're used to seeing from Combre, it is enough to be lethal here. But Kirby's just going to be on the, I'm going to chump this turn because all these things will die to Lightning Storm anyways and see if my opponent plays more out. Of course, by doing so, you could just get blown out by one of these 3 stand-togethers in Krizalio's list at some point, but you can't really afford to play around that anymore.
Yeah, I think he just has to play into... there's a stand-together. I think that's going to be it, unless Kirby draws a second Storm or I'm not. What are his outs here? Let's see. Okay, well, certainly not mirror image.
Mirror
Oh,
image actually is an out.
yeah, he can get another witch. And
Yeah,
then,
he
does
won't
he
have any
power?
cards left. Krizalio will have 4 spells in hand of some sort because they're not stuck on. They've been stuck on power, so he's still likely to lose, but he won't die at least. Could get him for 1 damage here.
Yeah, and Krizalio cannot play a second stand together because he's on 2 power, so he's definitely got that 1 damage and got that board clear in.
Yeah, so Kirby successfully stays alive for a turn. The problem here is not likely to win from this spot as the reality warding comes down.
That Primal Sigil not gonna deal with the Reality Warden, but we'll see what this Cobalt Ring gets. Death Strike will deal.
There we go, holding on. Cobalt Ring doing work here. That's a new card from Omens of the Past. It's a 3-cost relic that you can activate once per turn for 3 to draw a card and then discard a card. So it'll turn this Seed of Cunning into something else off the top of the ExKirby's deck. And a Vera's Favor, well, technically keeps him alive if Krizalio doesn't have a power or a stand together here.
Yeah, so Krizalio has been stuck on power. Like, that's definitely a story in this game, is that Kirby has drawn 11 power.
There it is.
But he's drawn out of it here, as you can see. And he's also got the Iron Thorn just for extra.
Yeah, could even stand together here on top of it all, right? Just... Combray is as Combray does, and Kirby scoops it up.
Yeah, so I think he just draw a little, few too many of his anti-aggro answers, and there were just too many Valkyrie Enforcers on Krizalio's side. That was was
3
that
Valkyrie Enforcers.
Yeah,
and one Owl. So, well, what do you think from? Let's go with Krizalio's sideboard strat here first. Do you think he keeps the Harsh Rule, takes them out? Like, I think if you're on the Combray side, you just want to go with the I'm the beatdown aggressive deck plan here, which to me means bring in this extra stand together, take out the Harsh Rule. What about you?
I mean, Harsh Rule was fine there, but I agree. I think that there's better things for him to be doing this matchup. And the other thing, I think Protects come in. I think I know you said stand together is good, but he's still, Kirby's still mostly Felon Control, and against a bunch of Death Strikes and Annihilates and 1-for-1 removal, Protect is an insane blowout.
Yeah, Protect is absolutely fantastic, especially when you're trying to keep your one flyer that's bigger than all of their flyers alive. Something like Valkyrie Enforcer or Great Parliament just always holding up Protect, or Sandstorm Titan keeping that Westwind Herald grounded. That's what this game's going to be all about, and I agree. Protect is going to be absolutely huge. So if I'm Krizalio, I think about just going, take out the 4 Harsh Rule, bring in the 1 stand together, 3 Protect, and call it a day. I guess the Vanquishes, do they have any targets out of Kirby's deck? I guess they don't, so except for Cabal Spymaster. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of those get shaved down as well. On Kirby's end, he's got, you can only change so much, right? You could totally get away from the combo, I guess, is one angle to take here.
This is definitely the Scrap Tank matchup, right?
It is a good Scrap Tank matchup. I won't deny card can give Combray some issues.
All he has to do is draw the 1 Dark Return, play out the 4 Scrap Tanks, get them Harsh Ruled, and then does that even work? Does Scrap Tank get bonuses when Harsh Rule goes off, or does it just go into the void as a 3/3?
It just goes into the void. I don't think it gets the buffs, but I honestly don't remember. I think it has to be in play to get the buff.
Oh, that's so sad.
The game is underway, and it looks like ExKirby at least brought in a Zindel's Gifts, which he's hoping don't get hit by a Protect Ice. But still a useful card to have against Combray, which often will slow roll threats, especially when you're threatening to Witch Storm or whatever like that. Kirby crucially finds another Primal Source here, so he will be able to cast Westwind Herald if he so chooses next turn. And it'll be up to Krizalio to have the right stuff to deal with it, like a Sandstorm Titan.
Yeah, Gift is a bit slow in this matchup, I think. Also, on Krizalio's end, I imagine he took out the Vanquishes for some combination of like Vodacons or Voices as well. So,
yeah, so Kirby's in a tough spot here. Plays the Westwind Herald, is going to take at least 8 damage here, if not more. He's tapped out, so Krizalio might just be like, this is enough of a board. If I have Stand Together, I'm just going to slam it here. But doesn't look like that's the case. He's just got to play out even more threats.
Yeah,
even gets a pop to Aegis.
Playing the Witch probably next turn here for Kirby. I mean, the other option is Scouting Party, but I think you play the Witch before the Scouting Party. Krizalio could just play Stand Together right after, put all the units right back to 2 health, and Kirby will be in a really rough spot.
Well, looks like Kirby's at least, electing to use the Seek Power and plays down the Witch, like you said. So now Krizalio, if he does want to get in here, needs to buff these units up, or just he's okay with trading with a Witch, and we'll find out here. I guess if you're Kirby, you're even going to throw away your Westwind Herald here. I guess you're just really banking on your opponent having the Stand Together.
I think he took. Did he block the with the Herald? Did he block Seraph or the Titan?
He blocked the Titan. I think the reason for that was in case his opponent did have Stand Together, he still wanted the Titan to die instead.
Right.
But here comes another Seraph. Find the way, develops Krizalio's power. Kirby plays an Azindal's Gift, which will at least get some stuff out of Krizalio's hand, but it might not matter if Kirby's dead at that point. So
yeah, he's going to 6 here, I think.
Yeah, that looks to be the case. Krizalio at least doesn't have a Mystic Ascendant because he didn't play that before playing Power. Instead, it's a Reality Warden. So, and find the way just to take a Sigil out of the deck. Fair enough.
Yeah, Azindal's Gift is pretty good when you're sitting on Witch Storm in hand. It's not very good when your follow-up is Primal Sigil.
All right, Krizalio did keep in Harsh Rule, interestingly enough, but gets to get rid of it there. It wasn't going to do anything this game anyways. And Kirby can make some jump blockers here with Scouting Party for at least the 2-1 and the 7-7, and maybe just take some damage from the Seraph and dig away out of this mess.
Yeah, Krizalio in a pretty good spot because even though he has no hand size, he didn't really lose anything that important. He got to play out pretty much everything he wanted to, and if he still has card advantage in the form of Seraph, so he's looking really dominant here, aside from just having a much larger board.
Krizalio also kept in Vanquish, and Kirby finds a Scouting Party, so it gets to draw 2 more cards here. Knows he'll at least have some blockers to hopefully keep him alive, and is gonna try and dig for like the right combo pieces here. Black Sky Harbinger, not a combo piece, but gains life and can bounce off Seraph. Of course, once Seraph gets to that magical 8 power, Krizalio will have an extra threat.
He can make 2 Harbingers here. Which is
that's
pretty fun.
That's pretty sweet. I'll admit that. That's certainly one way to stabilize. But opts to play a Cobalt Ring instead. And that means he's forced to block with Harbinger here on this Reality Warden.
This is definitely rough. I mean, Kirby can still have outs. Like that dash strike is going to do a lot of work.
Kirby's in fine shape here. The Seraph activations are about to come, and he's got to decide, does he want to deal with the Seraph or deal with the 7-7 that he can chump block? And he opts to kill the card that he can block. And, it's a trade-off. One is larger. The other is smaller, but potentially is making more larger things. We'll have to see what the Seraph lottery gives Krizalio here.
Yeah, I mean, Seraph can just end up hitting things like District Infantry or Chalier Saver. There's no Obelisk out, so there's no guarantee that anything super big is going to come out.
But a Westwind Herald off the top for Kirby here means we could be seeing a lot of Westwind Heralds or Scouting Party showing up real soon here. These are some good draws from the combo deck. Yeah,
Westwind Herald and Mirror Image. If you could have 2 cards in hand, I mean, it's not Spy Master, but it's close.
Yeah, but Kirby's going to draw more cards here and finds the Gunsmith with the Mirror Image, with the Herald. So now he could actually Herald plus there's a lot of cool things you can do here because now he's got the Herald could even trigger or cast Scouting Party next turn. You can Gunsmith off that, stuff like that. Yeah, I think he's gonna go Herald Bloodcaster just to get the 2/5 down here as a blocker, but no, opts to play the Gunsmith instead. And this way, if he draws Spy Master, I guess. And it just triggers, right? It triggers the Herald right away. Yeah, that's smart.
So rather than going for speed, he's just trying to get the Seraph off the table, because then all Krizalio has is this Cupbearer, which he can then block with the Bloodcaster next turn or just chump forever. Which means that he's free to take his time, just setting up like next turn, mirror image, maybe a Westwind Herald, and then get the scouting party off the second Westwind Herald. So he can take his time now.
Yeah, what a turnaround by Kirby here. Taking out that Great Parliament ended up being a huge thing. Puts mirror image in the void instead of simply casting it to put it in the void. Not sure I quite follow that line of play, but Kirby's been making some good plays so far, so maybe he's got plans with it.
Yeah, he really wanted that extra Cobalt Ring, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but the Steward and maybe the Bloodcaster will come down here. Your opponent did show you that they have harsh rules, so yeah, it looks like he just chooses to keep the Steward, but a little odd to discard mirror image over a power. I gotta say that's a head scratcher for me. But Annihilate has no targets. Can simply just play Bloodcaster and draw cards here, though.
I mean, his other option was to get the second Herald, to get another party, which would maybe only have drawn like 2 cards, and then he just draws another party anyway. Right now he's looting 2 cards a turn. So clearly this was the better play, because he knew he was just going to draw exactly what he needed for the rest of the game.
I am skeptical of that, but let's go with it. Krizalio just hoping to do Combray things here and draw awesome Combray cards. And this A space makes me think he may have found that harsh rule we mentioned. Of course, if that's the case, Kirby will still have a 2/2 flyer and a scouting party to reload with.
Yeah, harsh rule is actually totally fine for Kirby here. The gift ending up being a lot better than we thought it would be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it does make Krizalio not able to slow roll anything. Doesn't get to hold on to power. And Kirby has the... Oh, man. This is sweet. Scouting Party plus Gunsmith gets it done. But Kirby not interested in drawing 4 cards immediately this turn, and instead is just sculpting his hand and... I don't know. I guess
he loves Cobalt Ring. He wants to find that Spy Master. He's running an extra Cobalt Ring over a 4th Spy Master or a 4th Wisdom. He wants to dig.
Yeah, I suppose simply drawing the most cards this turn wasn't what he was hoping to do. He was hoping to actually combo. That's not going to happen, but it looks like he's... Okay, finds a Spy Master, and that'll kill his opponent just because Gunsmith will kill his opponent.
Yeah, I mean, I think the faster play would have been just to go more aggressive, just because by the time he got the combo off, Krizalio was basically dead. But still, we got to see it go off. He's got infinite Gunsmiths here.
Yeah, infinite everything, infinite damage, infinite card draw, infinite Gunsmiths, yada, yada, yada. But the key here is the kill. So there you have it. Gunsmiths doing their thing.
Yeah, we're 1-1 with Combray versus Bad News.
Yeah, we are tied up. Maybe we'll see a little bit more sideboarding here. Again, I was a little surprised to see the harsh rules out of the Combray mid-range list there. I think they might be misjudging the matchup and about who's the beatdown and who's the control here.
Yeah, and the vanquishes.
Yeah, so we'll see if Krizalio ends up making any adjustments there or knows something that we don't know and runs it back with those cards in tow. Again, I don't know. At least the Vanquish has a target in Spy Master. But you also have 8 silences and some other things going on, and a Spy Master can't combo if your opponent's dead. So that might be the route I would take here.
Yeah, I'd like to see the harsh rules and the vanquishes come out for the 3 protect, and then I think like 2 Vodacon and the voices or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not
sure. Protect not only protecting your units from removal, but if, say, your opponent does assemble the combo, if you protect your face, you block all of that damage and those infiltrate triggers.
Yeah, because they all happen on the same stat.
Yeah, it is. That Aegis blocks all simultaneous effects. So it's not like it's just to protect your units. It can also just stop the combo dead in its tracks. Now, your opponent still has a full board, but it's not like protect is some singular one purpose kind of, even though that first purpose we talked about is pretty strong. Now, they may have brought in Protect and we just didn't see it. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I think they just got into the game, so let me see if I can open that up.
Yeah, looks like it is underway, so we'll bring that up. Client cooperates.
So I don't know if this is his mulligan or like his first hand or what he's redrawn into. I think this is his first hand. So ExKirby has an Annihilate, Wisdom, Westwind Herald, and another Annihilate, but he had no Primal Sigil, so he had to send that right back. And this hand is actually pretty good. He's got all the influence he needs early, and he'll get that Fire Influence when he needs it later.
Yep, could even get the Fire Influence with that Seek Power. Yeah, like you said, when he needs it, that Varus Favor getting him the second Shadow Influence now means he doesn't have to use Seek Power for that purpose, but ends up using Seek Power for that purpose anyways. I guess maybe wanting to guarantee the third Shadow Influence in case he ever sees in his Zindal's Gift before he finds, the third Shadow source.
Yeah, I mean the Fire Splash is pretty light, and he's got 2 Cobalt Rings. He knows how to dig for stuff, so I think he'll find the Fire Influence when he needs it.
Yeah, there it is. But this Seed of Chaos is depleted, so the Steward of the Past won't be able to come down here to go toe to toe with this Titan, and he's got to decide if he wants to slam this Bloodcaster to at least hopefully block other things in the future, but instead opts to go with guaranteeing the 5th power for next turn by using Varus Favor.
Yeah, I think the only cards across his entire 90 that have Fire Influence requirements are Bad News, Gunsmith, and the 4 Scrap Tanks that are ExKirby's signature.
All right, and a Grounded Owl shows up from Krizalio, and Kirby finds a Scouting Party. Card.
Yeah, this is pretty rough. I mean, other than having Witch Storm, which is good, this is a pretty aggressive start from Krizalio compared to the last game.
I mean, it's aggressive on one hand, and on the other hand, he didn't do anything until turn 4. So,
fair.
It's not like there was a 2-1 on 2 or something like that, or the 3-4 on 3. But yeah, still, this is what Conrad can do: just play big units and attack your opponent, and that is what Krizalio is doing this game. As you said, Kirby does have Witch Storm at some point coming, but if Krizalio crucially has one of those protectors stand together, it's not going to get the job done. And this is what I wanted to see out of the Combray deck in this matchup. Just beat down.
Yeah, definitely. And having the second witch helps a lot here. He feels pretty comfortable just slamming the first one, not silencing the Sandstorm Titan makes the witch a lot better. Not that Krizalio necessarily should have done that. I think silencing the Steward is probably the right play, but it puts Kirby in a reasonable position here.
So we'll see if Kirby makes blocks with Stand Together in mind. Nope. And kind of works out, except this Sandstorm Titan's still in play. Not sure why he didn't put the Witch in front of the Titan. But he can clear up this board with a Lightning Storm and an Annihilate if he so chooses. And it makes some sense to get the Lightning Storm out of hand while you can, if you want to clear the way for this Westwind Herald. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And Desert Marshal comes in. And no Lightning Storm from Kirby. Maybe just planning on annihilating here and then Lightning Storming the next turn, or saving Annihilate for Mystic Ascent.
I mean, he might just even block the 5-1 with the silenced Bloodcaster.
Oh, yeah. I like that play.
We'll see what he does here. So obviously going to annihilate the 5-6 Titan.
Mm-hmm. Krizalio definitely has no Protects or Stand-Togethers in hand. We can figure that much out. And we'll see if that means Mystic Ascendants are coming, Reality Wardens. Yeah, there's a Reality Warden. So now Kirby could clean up this mess by pulling a trigger on a Witch Storm, or maybe try and go for, now that the coast is clear, for Westwind Herald, just slam that down and maybe plan on chump blocking this Reality Warden for a while and saving this Witch Storm for later.
Yeah, Reality Warden is pretty difficult to deal with because it dodges Annihilate, and I don't know if Kirby's running any copies of Permafrost. I'll have to open his list up.
See, I think this ordering's a little weird where you play Scouting Party instead of Herald, because if you play Herald first, the next turn you can cast Scouting Party and then hit and get another Scouting Party immediately.
Yeah, I agree. I think he might be worried about wanting to storm and not kill his Herald, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, but now you're just storming your Scouting Party. So now he's gonna witch, and the Desert Marshal. All right, that means Krizalio's out of cards here, and Kirby's free to clear this whole board. This actually worked out pretty well. Scouting party into witch is like a witch storm, but you still get to keep your board. He still has wisdom. That line of play, I see where Kirby was going with that. I haven't had a ton of experience playing Scouting Party alongside Withering Witch, where Kirby's finding the lines that are working out, and Krizalio's got to top deck really well here.
Yeah, thanks to Withering Witch, Kirby has ended up with a ton of card advantage, just trading like a witch activation for way too many units on Krizalio's side, and so Krizalio is just out of cards completely.
Yeah, and while Zindal's Gift is sometimes a good card, your combat opponent's actually on nothing here, and it looks like Kirby's just going to play the 2/2, not even check with the 3/5 to see if Krizalio's willing to block there, but looks like Krizalio's getting aggressive with the 4/4 flyer and letting Kirby hit with the Westwind Herald. Ooh, boy, that's a dangerous game to play from Krizalio.
Yeah,
even more
dangerous.
dangerous.
Like
Kirby,
he's out of options, but I'm not sure.
Kirby opting to not cast Wisdom before the attack there. Just gonna use the Annihilate here and get the gift down anyways. All right, sure. Kirby not interested in winning quickly. Instead needs to absolutely try and lock things down. But Krizalio just get some sigils out of his deck, and hopefully that'll improve the power of his top decks. Again, if Krizalio now finds any Mystic Ascendants or something like that, they're just going to be 4/4s. And Kirby finds a Gunsmith, but there's nothing to really trigger with. And I have to think a Wisdom's finally going to come out from Kirby. I've been, I think, 0 for like 100 on predictions of what Kirby's going to do, but I finally nailed one here.
Yeah, got it. Perfect.
Yeah. I'm
so
in his head now.
The second gift is coming down next turn. I feel like that's got to be the play, right?
I don't think we're going to see the second gift anytime soon. But again, now that I've said that, I guess I've spoken into existence. But Cabal Spymaster here, I think, will catch Kirby's eye. He may want to try and dodge these vanquishes that might still be in Krizalio's list. But yeah, I think just getting the immediate trigger on the Herald, getting out the party and setting up the just dumb stuff or whatever else. I don't know what else Herald can cast here. Wisdom. Yeah, drawing cards is probably better.
Yeah, does he have a mirror image in the void? Let me check really quickly. But it's looking like it's going to be 2-1 for Kirby. I mean, I don't mean to call the game early, but it's going to be very difficult for Krizalio to get out of this position.
Yeah, Krizalio might be ahead on life, but he's certainly way behind on board and cards, and Combray is not exactly known for its reach. There's no Flame Blast lurking in Krizalio's deck or units with charge. There's a couple with,
Yeah, so I think he just attacks with Herald here, gets a party, and then plays the Gunsmith. He doesn't have a mirror image in the void, so he's still looking for that. But he's basically got the combo, drawing 4 cards, and then,
And if the Gunsmith with party draws an undepleted power plus mirror image, then he does have the combo and wins. So
yeah,
seems...
I think he might discard a few cards to hand size before he can get them, right?
He opts to Wisdom here. He just does not want to play out this Gunsmith. I don't we are batting 0 right now. I think Kirby is aware of how hard he's trolling us at this point. He's just I don't even know.
At this point, I'm surprised we haven't seen a scrap tank.
I'm expecting a misclick concede next.
that would be a very spicy play. I don't think I would. That's the optimal line, but it's definitely a line to be sure.
Kirby not interested in discarding a Cobalt Ring when you can discard a Annihilate and play a ring. So that's down. Still holding on to that second Zindal's Gift here, just in case you really need it, because Krizalio draws the decay and opts to hit the Cobalt Ring. That's a redundancy rather than this game is incredible. And
Zindal's Gift's not doing anything. All right, he's got no cards in hand. Why would he ever kill this 7-cost relic? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, sure. This is. I don't know. Okay, Kirby continues to get Wisdom.
Oh, there's the mirror image. Okay, so now he's got lethal.
Yeah, he has lethal. Doesn't need the party. Who needs to draw 4 cards when you can draw 2?
So what are the odds he plays the combo here?
100%. I'm pretty
Okay,
confident.
all right.
And he'll probably play a party now off of. Nope, he'll still play Wisdom. It doesn't matter. He needs more room for the gunsmiths. All right, there's another mirror image, as if he needed that.
So I think I figured it out. The party is not premium, whereas the wisdom is premium. So that's why you play the wisdom over the party.
That's certainly possible. But that's going to be it here. Kirby successfully assembles the combo. Krizalio is just going to sit here as the Combre healers can't do anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, Combre Healer only gains 3 health, not infinity health. And so Krizalio has succumbed to infinite gunsmith damage.
And yeah, Kirby with absolutely 0 misplays, just completely showing us his mastery of the deck. Just crushes Krizalio there and moves to the 2-0 bracket.
Yeah, bad news for Krizalio, but great news for ExKirby. He moves up to 2-0 and is going to be playing the next round against someone else 2-0. And we're going to see, I'm sure he's going to play against another very competitive deck with his very competitive deck, and his scrap tanks will carry him to victory there.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to get the 9-0 in the new event that's going on this weekend, I think Kirby's deck is really the best place to start. I can't think of any bad matchups for it, really. So
yeah, make sure you only run 3 Spy Master, 3 Steward, 3 Wisdom, 3.
It's just the perfect
There's
numbers.
a lot of 3s, you know.
They're all 4-0s once you count the Celestial Omen.
Exactly.
Yeah. So awesome stuff there from Kirby. I'm gonna go need to lie down and think about life for a while. And but first, let's get a little quick plug-in about the ETS, which is what we're doing right now. There's an open tournament every Saturday. That's happening right now. As you see, some of the decks are really fun. The other decks that you might not think are fun, somebody thinks is fun, and they're playing those decks. It is free to enter. You just register up till 2 hours before the tournament starts and get in on the action. We have 7 weekly opens. Then after that, there is a 2-day invitational. That'll be the 8th week. So the next one is August 26th and 27th. There's cash prizes and sweet loot to get in the form of cash prizes. And then there's also a 2-day mid-year and annual championships with even bigger prize pools. You qualify for those via performing well in the invitationals and just being awesome in general. So that is what's going on with the ETS. You can find out more, get the full calendar of events going down at aReNGeeEternal.com. And by events, I mean RNG Eternal events, not events in Eternal. We don't have that kind of information. You have to get that from like Scarlatch or Direwolf Digital's email. But yeah, so thanks as always for tuning in, and we'll be back with round 3 action in just a moment.
Don't close the stream. We're going to have some